Gentlemen, welcome back to the shop. Big day today. I have been told by certain female viewers that I shouldn't say just gentlemen, welcome back to the shop. I should be saying welcome one and all back to the shop. So welcome, men, women, children, dogs, I don't care, as long as you want to spend your time watching this video. So you can see, big step today. I have managed to get the shroud off. It was difficult, to say the least. I have a new favorite method for removing bolts. You take some WD-40 down there, spray it on it, wait, let it penetrate real good, get in there. When it's ready, put 2 big wrenches on it, and you twist until the bolt breaks. I don't know how many bolts I've broken getting that shroud off, but that seems to be how it goes with the bolts underneath. Looking at the shroud, I think this is the first time it's ever been off the car since the factory. It's an aluminum shroud, and it was attached with rivets, steel rivets, all along the front of the dashboard, along here. And those rivets were painted the original color. When I pulled the padding off the dashboard, they still had the original paint on them. I think that means it's never been off before, which is pretty exciting. You can see the original, I guess this just looks like primer under here. I don't know if you can see it. And this big goopy black stuff is mastic or dum-dum, or that many different names for it. It's a tarry rubbery stuff. I think they used it to insulate between the steel and the aluminum, because when you don't do that, you get things like this. It's a corrosion caused by a chemical reaction, kind of like what batteries will do when they go bad. So there's 2 spots that are corroded. It's really not that bad. I remember as a kid, there was all these stories of body corrosion on Heelys because of dissimilar metals, but it's really not that bad. It looks like they took proper steps to keep them separated, except for those 2 little spots. You can see much better access to the engine bay, which will facilitate taking the engine out, which will be the next step. I've managed to find lots and lots of these little things, mud daubers, they're wasp-like creatures that like to pack in mud and build little nests. There's a big glob of it there, up under the dashboard. So coming over here, you can see the shroud against the garage door. Some of it still has its original color. See the back of the grill. I love the way they did the back of the grill here. It's just a straight piece, and then you have on the front where you have the oval, it just like clips it all off. So they didn't have to bother to, fit it in there. It just overlaps. I think that's clever. Down at the bottom you see lots of shiny aluminum poking through there. Here's the corrosion on the cowling side of things. Anyway, very hard to get off, drilling all those rivets out, finding the bolts. There were even screws that went along the back of the engine here. All but one of them came out pretty well. I was trying to drill it out and it wouldn't move. I don't know what kind of steel they used, but it was tough. So I ended up getting on the back of it with vice grips and twisting it until it came out. That's why I was taking the dashboard off a little prematurely. So it's loose at least. I got all the instruments out of it. The oil sensor and the water temperature gauge will have to be, I don't know if you can send them in to be fixed or not, but the cable for the temperature has been cut off at the engine and at the gauge. So it will never work the way it is. The seat's just sitting in there, so I could, something to sit on while I was working on the dash. Plan for the afternoon, maybe get the heater core out of there. I started taking some bolts off there to get some more access, but didn't manage to get everything out. Probably start taking some, maybe take the radiator out, start prepping to get the engine out. That's going to be the next big step. Once that's out, then running gear and then all the little detail stuff. With all that gone, you can commence with bodywork. To pull the engine out, my shop happens to have this up in the rafters. It's a, I don't know what you call it, it's a big I-beam. It has this rolling thing with that strap on it. The strap's no good, but the rolling thing's all steel, so that's solid. I'll have to go buy a come-along, or a winch, a hand winch. I have one. It's sitting in the back of a 1968 Austin Healey Sprite in Missouri. It's going to take about 3 months to get here, and I'm not that patient. Anyway, exciting day. Also need to take off this back shroud. That's also aluminum, so lots more rivet drilling. A couple more lights to come out, and that comes off as well. What else? This morning I also, last time I had run out of gas, so I didn't get to test the overdrive. This morning I filled it up. Well, I didn't fill it up. I put about a couple liters in it. Made sure gas got up to the front, cranked it over, started it up. Ran it through the gears, played with the overdrive switch. It seems to engage. When the speedometer is not working, so I wasn't able to tell exactly if it was. I couldn't see the overdrive in a gauge, but watching the where the drive shaft connects to the transmission, there at speed it was flickering in the fluorescent lights, and you could tell a difference in the speed. So I'm confident that the overdrive is working and that I don't have to rebuild it. Though I've seen many videos on doing that, it's something I don't want to deal with. Anyway, that's the progress for today. I'll keep going, and if I find something else interesting, I'll show it to you. I also shot at some video of the overdrive test. I'll put that on after this. So over the weekend, my hands are pretty beat up, so I'm going to try something new. I'm going to try working with gloves on. These are have some plasticky, sticky stuff on them. I'm probably going to hate it, but I'm going to give it a shot. So as you can see, I got a shop light, so I can show you better what's going on without using my wife's camera equipment. I'm about to take off the package shelf and wanted to get some detailed shots of what's going on in here. Mostly where the screws are. We'll take off this panel as well, and then start digging into the dashboard, taking that out. Got the radiator out. That was easy. It's only bolted in a couple of places. I wanted to show you this before I took it out too far. This wire here is bolted to the frame with this about 14 washers and a bolt that's way too long. I think this cable goes to the starter, but I'll have to explore underneath. I thought that was hilarious. No terminal end on it or anything, just bare wires. Might be a galvanized washer on the front to copper to steel. Oh, and here you can see the fan, which I swear it's missing a set of blades. Anyway, some interesting mechanical work has gone on this vehicle. So we've heard it run, but we haven't heard the horn work. I don't know if the switch was not working or not, but it has two horns, one on each side. That sounds awful. Absolutely awful. Let's try the other side. That sounds like a proper horn. Yeah, so I took the what was there of an exhaust system off. They're pretty rough. There's booger welds around the bendy joints. Looks like they've been bashed with a hammer, and they're starting to rust, but they're brand new and covered in primer and ugliness. I think we'll be getting new ones. This is the driver's side engine mount. I haven't touched it yet. Do you notice anything wrong there? How about in there? Can you see? Not so well. But, the bottom nut's not tight. These two are hanging off. Over there on the engine, there's one nut missing on the, or bolt missing on the top. Oops, sorry, turned you sideways. Yeah, I'm just glad it didn't run very long. That's scary. That's holding a very large engine up there.